Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling that something was off, even though you couldn't explain why? Maybe someone told you they were happy, yet something about their expression felt forced. Maybe a colleague agreed with your idea, but their posture suggested resistance. Or perhaps you instantly trusted someone before they had even spoken a single sentence. The strange reality is that human beings are constantly communicating far more than words alone. Long before language evolved, our ancestors relied on posture, facial expressions, eye contact, and movement to survive. And even today, much of that ancient communication system remains active beneath our awareness. Researchers estimate that a significant portion of social communication comes through non-verbal signals. But here's the fascinating part. Most people notice these signals subconsciously, without fully understanding what they mean. And sometimes, those hidden signals reveal confidence, attraction, anxiety, discomfort, deception, or even power struggles long before words catch up. In this video, we're exploring 12 body language signals you should never ignore, what psychologists have discovered about them, and how understanding these subtle cues can completely change the way you see human behavior. Some of these signals appear in job interviews, others emerge in relationships, and a few may reveal more than the person intends. If you're fascinated by psychology, human behavior, and the hidden forces that influence our everyday lives, make sure to subscribe and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Let's begin. Most people think body language works like a secret code. Crossed arms means someone is defensive. Lack of eye contact means they're lying. A smile means they're happy. Simple. At least that's what many people believe. But psychologists have spent decades studying human behavior and discovered something far more complicated. Body language isn't a dictionary where every gesture has one fixed meaning. Context matters. Culture matters. Personality matters. A person crossing their arms might feel defensive, or they might simply be cold. Someone avoiding eye contact could be hiding something, or they might be shy, anxious, or respectful. The real skill isn't spotting a single signal. It's recognizing clusters of behavior, patterns, changes, inconsistencies. And once researchers began examining those patterns, they uncovered signals that repeatedly appeared across different situations. Signals that often reveal what people are feeling before they consciously realize it themselves. But psychologists would later discover something even more surprising. Some of the most revealing body language cues happen completely outside conscious awareness. And that's where our first signal begins. One of the most important discoveries in behavioral science is that the human body often reacts before the conscious mind catches up. Think about the last time you were nervous. Perhaps your foot started bouncing, your shoulders tightened, your breathing changed. You didn't decide to do these things. They simply happened. Researchers studying non-verbal communication found that emotions frequently leak through the body in subtle ways. These are sometimes called honest signals, not because they're always truthful, but because they're often harder to control than words. This doesn't mean body language can reliably detect lies. In fact, many experts caution against making that assumption, but body language can reveal emotional states. Stress, comfort, interest, discomfort, confidence, uncertainty, and understanding these states helps us better understand the people around us, which brings us to the signals themselves. And the first one may surprise you, the hidden signals. Signal 1, feet pointing toward an exit. Most people focus on faces. Few pay attention to feet. Yet feet often reveal where attention truly lies. Imagine speaking with someone at a gathering. They smile and nod, but their feet are already pointing toward the door. Their body may be signaling a desire to leave the interaction. Because feet are farther from conscious control, they sometimes reveal intentions before words do. Have you ever noticed this behavior? You might start seeing it everywhere. Signal 2. Sudden changes in eye contact. Eye contact is powerful, but more important than eye contact itself is change. A person who normally maintains eye contact but suddenly avoids it may be experiencing discomfort. Likewise, someone who abruptly increases eye contact may be attempting to appear more convincing. The key is noticing deviations from their normal behavior, and this distinction changes everything. Signal 3. Genuine versus forced smiles. Not all smiles are created equal. A genuine smile often involves the muscles around the eyes. The cheeks rise. Tiny wrinkles may appear. A forced smile frequently affects only the mouth. This doesn't necessarily mean someone is being dishonest. Sometimes people smile politely. Sometimes they're hiding stress. The important lesson is that emotions often reveal themselves through the entire face, not just the lips. Signal 4. Mirroring. When people feel connected, they often unconsciously mirror one another. A person crosses their legs. Moments later, the other person does the same. One leans forward. The other follows. Mirroring frequently appears during moments of trust, rapport, and social bonding. However, this wasn't the most surprising part. Researchers found that skilled persuaders sometimes use mirroring deliberately to build connection. And that's where things start becoming more complicated. Signal 5. Touching the neck. The neck is one of the body's most vulnerable areas. During moments of stress, uncertainty, or discomfort, people often touch or rub their necks. It's believed this behavior may provide a calming effect. The gesture frequently appears during difficult conversations, interviews, and emotionally charged situations. Would you have recognized the warning signs? Signal #6. Compressed lips. When people press their lips together tightly, psychologists often interpret it as emotional restraint. The individual may be holding back disagreement, suppressing frustration, or choosing not to express what they're truly thinking. The body sometimes reveals resistance before words do, and the next signal may be even more revealing. Signal 7. Blocking behaviors. Humans instinctively create barriers when uncomfortable. A purse held across the chest. A coffee cup positioned like a shield. A laptop acting as a wall. These subtle actions can signal psychological distance. Not always, but often enough that experienced observers pay close attention. Signal #8. Rapid blinking. Blinking rates frequently increase during stress or cognitive overload. When the brain works harder or emotions intensify, blinking often changes. Again, context matters, but sudden increases may indicate pressure, discomfort, or heightened emotional activity. Signal 9. Leaning in. When people are genuinely engaged, they often reduce physical distance. They lean forward. They orient their bodies toward the speaker. Their attention becomes physically visible. This signal frequently appears during attraction, curiosity, and deep interest. Yet the truth was far stranger. Sometimes people verbally disagree while their body language continues to lean in, revealing ongoing engagement despite their words. Signal 10. Shoulder shrugs. A full shrug typically involves both shoulders rising evenly. It often communicates uncertainty. A partial shrug can sometimes indicate incomplete commitment to what's being said. The body may reveal hesitation even when the words sound confident. Signal 11. Fidgeting under pressure. Foot tapping. Finger drumming. Object spinning. Many people associate fidgeting with dishonesty, but psychologists caution against this conclusion. More often, fidgeting reflects nervous energy, stress, excitement, or anxiety. The important question isn't whether someone is fidgeting, it's why. Signal 12. Inconsistent signals. This may be the most important body language cue of all. When words and body language align, communication feels natural. When they conflict, people often sense something is wrong. Someone says they're excited while displaying visible tension. Someone claims agreement while subtly pulling away. These inconsistencies frequently trigger our intuition, not because we're mind readers, but because our brains are constantly comparing verbal and non-verbal information. And when the two don't match, we notice. Even if we don't realize we're noticing, the ability to read body language can be useful. But it can also be misused. Throughout history, skilled manipulators have understood the power of non-verbal communication. Con artists establish trust through confident posture. Fraudsters use eye contact strategically. Manipulative leaders project certainty even when evidence is lacking. Cult recruiters often employ warmth, proximity, mirroring, and intense attention to create emotional bonds quickly. The goal isn't necessarily to convince through logic, it's to influence emotions. And emotions often drive decisions more powerfully than facts. What happened next completely changed how psychologists viewed persuasion. Researchers discovered that people frequently trust feelings of confidence over objective evidence. In other words, how a message is delivered can sometimes influence us more than the message itself. That's why awareness matters, because the same signals that build healthy relationships can also be used to manipulate. Consider a famous negotiation. Two executives sit across a table discussing a major business deal. The conversation appears friendly. Both smile. Both agree verbally. Yet one negotiator repeatedly leans away, compresses his lips, and creates barriers with documents.
Weeks later, the deal collapses.
The warning signs were visible all along. Or think about criminal investigations. Experienced investigators rarely focus on one gesture.
Instead, they watch for clusters, changes in behavior, unexpected reactions.
Shifts from a person's baseline. The most skilled observers know that no single movement proves anything.
Patterns tell the story.
The same principle appears in everyday life. A first date, a job interview, a family disagreement, a sales meeting, a classroom discussion. Everywhere humans interact, non-verbal communication quietly shapes perceptions, often without anyone realizing it. Have you ever experienced something similar? A moment when someone's body language told a completely different story than their words? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. So how should you use this knowledge?
First, avoid jumping to conclusions.
No body language signal guarantees a specific meaning. Human behavior is simply too complex. Second, look for patterns rather than isolated gestures.
Clusters are more informative than individual movements.
Third, establish a baseline. How does this person normally behave? Meaningful changes often matter more than the behavior itself. Fourth, pay attention to context. A nervous speaker may be anxious because they're presenting to a large audience. not because they're hiding something. And finally, use body language as a tool for understanding rather than judgment. The goal isn't to catch people. The goal is to understand them better. Because the more accurately we understand others, the more effectively we communicate, connect, and navigate the social world. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson psychology offers. Human behavior is rarely as simple as it first appears. Behind every gesture lies emotion. Behind every expression lies context. And behind every interaction lies a story waiting to be understood. Long after the conversation ends, the decision is made, or the moment passes, the psychology behind it remains. Invisible, powerful, often unnoticed. Yet these hidden forces shape relationships, careers, reputations, societies, and sometimes even the course of history itself. Every glance, every gesture, every choice, every interaction, each one tells a story about who we are, what we believe, and the unseen forces influencing our behavior. And perhaps the most remarkable part is that these forces affect all of us, every single day. Because behind every action lies a hidden motive. Behind every decision lies a psychological process. And behind every human story lies a deeper truth waiting to be understood. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, keep questioning what lies beneath the surface of human behavior.